How's it going? Hard Talk Radio, Mr. Deadman here, and Mr. Victor Beowulf. How you doing, man?
Pleasure as always. Doing great, man. Doing wonderful. Saw this wonderful movie this afternoon. Thought we'd talk about it. Shopping Mall.
Shopping Mall. Shopping Mall. See, I've seen this movie before, I think. Is this a movie about the evil robot man that goes around and cuts people's heads off and puts them in a bag?
It's similar to that. It's three robots. And let's start off with the beginning. So what you have is a mall. I think it's called Plaza Mall. I can't remember the exact name. But it starts out with the guy who's robbing a jewelry store in the mall. Okay. And this little robot looking like a vacuum cleaner comes out. He's got little, tank treads, he's rolling around and stops him. He shoots tasers into his back. Well, then that stops, says the end, and you see that they're in a mall, and this guy's talking to a group of people about how great these new robots are. They call them protectors, and there's three of them, and how they're going to save the day from this mall. They also have metal doors installed on the mall, so they shut at night, and they're timed not to open until in the morning, so no one's going to break into the motherfucker. Okay? So, these robots, people have concerns. How are they going to be able to identify who is a good guy and a bad guy?
Right.
Well, the guy who's giving the presentation pulls out his badge and says, very simple. They turn the robot on, and the robot says, please identify yourself. He holds the badge up to the robot's face, and the robot scans the badge, and he knows he's an employee of the mall. Okay? Mm. So the robot's not going to be able to do any gruesome or bad shit, because the robot also shoots laser beams, in addition to having sleep darts and the tasers.
Wait. These robots, these are the they look like a Johnny Five sort of thing.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly.
Okay,
right.
Yeah, all right. I think I'm remembering this movie a little bit more now. With like an alpha. Are you familiar with Power Rangers?
Yeah.
What's the name of that robot assistant thing that? What's her name?
Oh,
Alpha?
God.
Something Alpha? I don't know. What's her name?
Dude, I can't think off the top of my head about that right now. I know what you're talking about, though. Oh, man.
That's going to be on my mind for a while. Anyway. So
now in the background, they're starting out with these robots. And there's a group of kids in the mall who work at the furniture store, and they want to have a sex party. Okay.
Of course.
So these friends get together, right, after hours with their girls, and they're very attractive girls, and they're in the furniture store testing the furniture out. And of course, there's a thunderstorm. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Could you imagine, like, buying furniture? Like knowing that they coworkers, but employees at that place actually tested out the furniture in that sort of way.
That's right. You look at the floor model and you see stains on the sheets. You're like, what is that? Be like, oh, someone spilt a milkshake there.
Yeah, should take a black light to like one of those furniture stores and see what's really going on over there. Anyway,
light up like a Christmas tree with black lights, man.
Be good.
But there's a thunderstorm going on outside the mall, and of course a lightning bolt strikes something on the roof, and it short circuits these robots, and so these robots now are evil. Okay.
That's all it takes is lightning? Oh, I guess
that's all it takes is lightning, a lightning bolt. And so basically what you have is this very attractive girl saying, oh, please go and get me some cigarettes from the cigarette machine, because remember, this is the 80s, so they still have cigarette machines around. Yeah. And she wants Virginia Slims. And so the guy, and this was a pleasant surprise to me, because the guy is the guy from Deathstalker 2. And I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, it's Deathstalker 2. He's in this motherfucker. This is going to be a great film. So he leaves the furniture store to go get his girl some cigarettes. And the robot sees him and says, please identify yourself. And so he does. He pulls out his card, and the robot proceeds to kill his ass. So within 5 minutes of the movie, I've lost Deathstalker. So I didn't know what to expect. But it was a very very great movie, man. I mean, it's fun to watch. Okay, it's not something to be taken seriously. The dialogue's corny as fuck.
Yeah.
But if you just want to have a good time, have a 6-pack of beer or something, that's the perfect movie to watch.
So definitely have a 6-pack. Get a little tipsy. Yeah. All right.
That's
You know what?
That's right. Well,
it's coming to mind now. Well, wasn't there another death before his death?
Yeah, there sure was. There was the technician who was in that room monitoring the, I guess, the cameras and the robots. And of course, he was reading a book and wasn't really aware what was going on. But behind him, you'd see these robots creeping closer. And every now and then, he'd turn around and look. And he thought something was off. They seemed to be a little bit closer, but his mind's playing tricks on him or whatever. Until it's too late, and the robot sticks his hand through his back of his head.
Just kills him like that. All right.
So we go back to Deathstalker, who is now lying dead by the cigarette machine, and his girlfriend is worried because he has not returned with her cigarettes, and so she's annoyed now. So she gets up and gets out with barely anything on but a small, tiny robe, and walks down the mall to.
I think I remember that scene.
The
cigarette
machine.
Ass scene too. I'm just saying.
And so she, and she finds him there by the cigarette machine. His throat slit, and so she starts screaming and runs back to the furniture store, and the robot's following her, and the robot starts shooting fucking laser beams, and I'm talking about like Star Wars shit. Obviously, the military made these motherfuckers. I don't know.
Right. Like military.
They hit her in the back. What now? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, like military grade robots shooting laser beams. Oh, and it's Alpha 5. That was the Power Rangers robot, the little robot assistant there.
That's right.
That robot head looks exactly like the robot heads in this movie. It's almost like copy paste. It's so weird.
I agree, man.
And I could have sworn too.
About that
wait, you mentioned the badge thing, but wasn't there an issue? I think there was wasn't there like a janitor in the movie or something?
There was.
It was given,
I keep forgetting.
The robots were giving him a hard time. He's like, "I work here, damn it! I work here. Here's my badge. You see my badge?" and the robot like somehow was smart enough to calculate if it knocks over the water or so. It knocked over his water bucket and shocked him, electrocuted him. He's like, "I have my badge. I have it."
Yeah, man, I totally forgot about that. But yeah, that was an early death too, man. Like you said, he was mopping up the floor, and the robot pushes over that water bucket, and he's like, "What's going on here? I work here just like you do." And so he shows him the badge, and the robot shoots out a taser at him, and he's like, "What is this? What are you doing, man? Here's my badge right here." And of course, he steps on the taser, and that water puddle and gets electrocuted.
Yeah.
So that's another death.
So I gotta ask, what happened there? I mean, if the robots are supposed to screen a badge, was the janitor not considered part of like the mall employment or something? Like, maybe it's it's like sometimes like they'll contract out and they'll get somebody out that doesn't really work for the mall. They another company, and they kind of may have like a I guess a temporary badge.
That's right.
Maybe?
That's right.
Or maybe I'm looking too much into it.
I don't know if it's that or if it's the lightning bolt totally fucked the robots thinking up. I have no idea. But that's a good point, man. It could have been contracted out, like you said. That's very possible.
Yeah, but there's a lightning bolt though. It's scrambled because clearly the robots were evil. Because before that janitor death, they killed I guess the technician guy. And all right. So they're on the warpath, gonna kill everything in this mall. All right. Anyway, Deathstalker guy's dead. His girlfriend freaks out. What else happens?
So she's running back to the furniture store, and they can see her screaming and running. They're like, "What's going on?" They see the laser beams being shot at her, and they're like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And these are the friends who are in the furniture store. Okay, there's 4 more friends. So they're watching this happen, and she turns and she sees the robot once again after she gets shot in the back by one of the laser beams. She's screaming, "Ah!" And then all of a sudden, a laser beam hits her right in the fucking head, and it's like scanners, man. Just boom, the head just explodes.
That head explosion is really good. In fact, for people who don't like this movie, consider it like a 2-star movie. That head explosion is like a 9 out of 10 stars. The head explosion is really good. Okay.
I agree with it.
Like, you probably heard about this movie before if you haven't seen it. If you watch one of those best head explosion compilations on YouTube, this movie is on that list. It's probably gonna be one of the top.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, because that head explosion was good. It's weird that a laser just hits and, but you gotta be careful. You gotta comply with the mall security robots.
That's right. And so after that, man, it's a scramble. You know, the robots, of course, sees the people looking out through the glass door there, the furniture store, and they say, intruders. And so they're now in a fight for their lives to be able to get out of the mall. And, of course, those metal steel doors have closed, so there's no getting out till in the morning. So they have to survive all night.
Oh, right. That's right.
So
they got to survive.
So the guys send their girlfriends up through the ventilation system to get out. And they, of course, run and they try to find weapons.
Wait.
And of course, they find it at a sporting goods store.
Wait. Was this around? Wait. Okay. They went into the vents. When they're crawling in the vents, somehow the robots crank up the heat in the air.
That's right.
So they start sweating them out.
Yeah.
So these robots.
I think they missed an opportunity. Go ahead, man.
These robots are so sophisticated and tapped in somehow to like the whole mall. I guess they can adjust like the temperature and all that. Okay, they're just sweating
crazy,
them out.
Right? It's a missed opportunity for the director. I feel the director could have done a lot more with that scene because they are very hot and they're sweating. So naturally, what would someone do in that situation? Take off their clothes, right?
It is an 80s film, and there's already TNA. I think there was some. Yeah, during the sex scene, it wasn't really like an orgy. It was like multiple sex things going on, like separate partners, whatever.
Right.
Which by
they're
the way,
on separate pieces of furniture.
yeah. The only people that weren't doing it were like the nerds of the group, I guess.
Exactly
the
right.
Squares.
Yeah.
Let's see. I believe in that sex scene, didn't somebody say something like, "You smell like pepperoni"? You smell like pepperoni.
Yes. Yeah, well, it really is coming back to you, man. Yeah, that was in there.
If that's how you feel about it.
The guy with the. Yeah. So she's like, "Oh my God, you're so mean," and he's like, "But I like pepperoni." So she decides that she's going to strip for him, and that was a good scene. I enjoyed that scene.
I tried that with my wife, and it ruined everything. It was like,
it didn't work. Huh?
No, it did not. It did not. It killed the mood. There was no sexy time that night. Oh, anyway. So. And I believe around that time when they're in the vents, I think you were getting to it. I guess the guys, they find a gun store in the mall. In this mall is like in California, right? In the 80s.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So my question is:
right.
Was that a frequent thing in the 80s? Was that a thing for gun stores to be in the mall?
I don't know. They called it a sporting goods store, so I don't know if that was just a certain section of the store or not. I don't remember there being guns in the mall where I was at, but I could be wrong.
Now, the 80s was a wild time, so maybe. Shit.
Yeah.
You get guns and coke. Anyway, refresh my mind some more about this movie because I think you recently watched it. I'm just like trying to remember here. Okay. Well, it's something that stays with you. Like this movie, it stays with you. It does for real. All right.
I mean, it's a great cult classic. I feel it's not going to be a wonderful movie, but it's definitely something to laugh at and have a good time with, and just not think too much about.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So they're going through the vent, and the girl that you remembered who didn't like her boyfriend saying that she smelled like pepperoni starts to freak out. She's got to get out of there. She's got to save her boyfriend. So she kicks open the vent and they land in a hardware store. Meanwhile, the guys are going to the sporting goods store and one of them says, "Oh, I've got the keys right here." And then he throws a brick or something through the window and smashes the window, and they go in, get a shotgun. They get an assault rifle, and they get a propane tank.
Okay.
And so they walk out of the mall and they encounter a robot, and the robot starts shooting lasers at them. And I'm thinking, why is this fucking fool holding a damn propane tank and not taking cover when they're shooting lasers at him? But miraculously, the robot doesn't hit them. And so they're firing away the robot, and then all of a sudden, the guy rolls the propane tank to the robot, and they shoot the propane tank, and it blows up. And so the robot is turned over on its side, and they think they've killed the robot, which in reality they have not. But you find that out later on.
Yeah, actually, wait. I thought in that scene, correct me if I'm wrong here. Didn't the robot like get back up? Wasn't there like something that pushed it up from it, because it laid down on its side, and then like there's something that pushed it back up, kind of like a, I don't know. It looks so corny. It looks so cheesy. Like it just some hydraulics or whatever, and just got back onto its tracks, which are just fine, not damaged whatsoever. You know.
That's right. And they leave it for dead, of course. He does this after they leave, so they're unaware that, you know, they haven't taken out one of the 3 robots, which is a key part of that story. But you're exactly right. The robot is somehow able to get itself back up. You know.
And these robots, they don't look metallic or anything. They kind of look like are you familiar with the NES Rob? Like the Nintendo Entertainment System, like Rob thing. Okay, for all those who play like Smash Brothers, you know what I'm talking about. It looks like that. Like it's on tracks. It runs kind of like like a tank. It has like these little plastic arm things, and it has like this head that shoots like lasers. It's not. It looks like a toy. You know, in that scene you're talking about, it
really does.
Earlier, not only were they shooting at the robot, and the robot was blasting lasers, they weren't taking cover. It was so weird. They weren't taking cover, right?
Not at first. Yeah. No, they weren't. And so it's unbelievable, really, because neither one of them can shoot worth a shit. The robot can't shoot worth a shit. Neither can the guys. You know, nobody's dying. I mean,
it's amazing how the robot like accuracy changed drastically when it came to attacking the guys with the guns. You know, when it was the chick with the blue, was she wearing like blue panties?
Yeah.
Don't tell me I remember that. Am I that much of a perv mind? Don't tell me I remember the color of fucking underwear. Oh my god.
You got it right, man.
Man. All right. That tells a little bit about me. Okay. But she died instant hit. One shot from the robot, direct hit, headshot, boom, okay? And then they go from 100% accuracy to the head to, oh shit, we're just going to spam. You know?
That's right.
Maybe it's guys.
But like, it's fun to watch.
Are the robots like afraid to shoot guys?
You know, I don't know. That's a good question. I think that probably they ran out of the budget money, and so they couldn't do any cool deaths anymore. So they were just like, okay, we're just going to stand here and make sure nobody gets hit. I don't know.
Maybe it was budget. I was thinking maybe like the testosterone from the men being so brave, and like Rambo's there in the mall protecting the girlfriends. I thought maybe it put fear in the robot somehow. I don't know how that works. It's a robot, but you know.
Oh yeah, man. And clearly, there's one of them who, the way he's holding his gun, he's seen way too many movies. I mean,
oh yeah. It's like they're living out their dreams. They're like,
yeah, exactly.
And this came after Rambo, right? This was after Rambo, so they were trying to like
not sure.
Chop them all. I gotta look at the date here. Tell me some more. So what happens? What happens next?
So what we'll do is cut over to the girls. Remember, They went into the hardware store because the one girl was freaking out on the ventilation system. So she kicks open a vent, and they jump into the hardware store, and they begin to get gas tanks, and they put paper in them. So they're making Molotov cocktails, essentially. And so they're walking out with their Molotov cocktails, and of course a robot comes to them, and they light one up and throw it, and nothing happens. You know, he just rolls right through the fire, and he's firing lasers at him, of course, and he hits one girl And so she falls, and other girls are watching helplessly there. Oh my God. Oh my God. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And of course, the robot sees the gas tank beside the girl because she was carrying her gas tank. And when she got shot, she fell down. Gas tank's right beside her. And so he shoots a laser, boom, hits the gas tank.
And that laser
explodes.
hits.
The girl's on fire.
That laser's focused. I'm telling you, man. It's like there's bitches here. We gotta shoot it. We gotta shoot it. I don't know, man. It seems kind of funny. Okay. It's funny how it works that way. The laser's 100% accurate when it needs to be.
Absolutely, absolutely right.
Yeah.
And so the guys come to the rescue. They come right as the girl's burning. Of course, the one guy sees his pepperoni girls. And that's who it was, the pepperoni girl who's on fire. And he just, he's so sad. And so they start shooting at the robot. Bah, 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 bah.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow they get the girls, and they save the girls. But I can't remember how they get the robot to get away from that. I don't remember.
So, and they're unloading on these robots. And by the way, Rambo: First Blood, 1982, and this movie is 1986. So, yeah, they were living out their Rambo fantasy, man. They were living out their Stallone fantasy. You can see that, and they're unloading on these robots. You think they put a dent in, it hurt them somehow, but no, it's just they're not even hitting, or if they do hit, not even fazed by it. Whatever. It's like, okay. Heavy duty mall security, man.
And let me cut back a little bit. We have that happening with the girls and the gasoline, but in between that, we have the guys, and they've gone back for more propane tanks because they see how effective it is, and they've gotten on top of the elevator, and they've put wires through the propane tank, so when someone's in the elevator, it will actually cause an explosion and cause the elevator to drop. And then they hear the screaming, they know the girls are in trouble, and that's when they run to save the girls. And the one girl is on fire because he hit the gas tank beside her.
Yeah.
So they scramble. They're shooting the robot. They scramble. They run away. The robot's chasing after them. Somehow they get the robot to enter into the elevator. And then they, of course, as the robot is going up to the second floor and then the third floor, they shoot the propane tank on top of the elevator. Boom. The cable breaks. The robot goes down the elevator. One robot death. So there's two now, but they only think there's one. Okay.
And the chick that shot those propane tanks, she did it with a revolver. One hit.
She did. She did it with... Absolutely, yeah.
One shot. Boom. And what... And... That chick, what was her, what did she say? Oh, she was trained by her dad, or no, her dad was a Marine or something. Her dad was in the military.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's a military brat. Okay.
Right.
So hold on. All these guys, they couldn't even hit the robots at all. They're like pretty close to them. And this chick has like 100% accuracy. Okay. Well, I think the wrong people have the guns. They just need to give all the guns to her and everything would be fine.
Absolutely, man. And what's so funny is she's the nerdy one. She's the one who's watching television while her other friends are engaged in, sinful things in the furniture store.
That's right.
And of course, this follows along with the 80s horror tradition where, it's the ones who are not having sex or doing drugs or things like that who come out as survivors,
Yeah. She's the final girl. She's the final girl here. Most definitely. She's kind of like the chick from Terminator.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Think about it. This is like
this is like Terminator. It's very similar to Terminator. You're right.
I mean,
in many ways.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't her wardrobe look like towards the end of the movie? Doesn't she kind of have that look? I don't know.
You know what I noticed is that she wasn't wearing a bra towards the end of the movie. Or right. I don't think she was.
Wasn't she just wearing like
She's
a white
still wearing
top or something?
Or what now?
Wasn't she just wearing like a white top or something? I forgot what she was wearing in that movie.
It was a sweater. It could have been white or it could have been pastel, but it was an 80s.
That's
definitely
right.
an 80s look,
All right. Yeah, but that's our final chick. That's our final girl. She's our Sarah Connor of Shopping Mall.
Absolutely, absolutely. You got 2 Terminators still left, and so they go into hiding once more. And then for some reason, they come up with the idea of stopping the robots by turning the computer off on the 3rd floor. That's what controls them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they decide to leave the safety of the restaurant they're hiding in, and they get running through the mall once more. And there's another robot chasing them. And then there's also that second robot they don't know about because they think they've already killed it.
Right.
And so basically they're just trying to get away from these robots. And what we see are some pretty cool deaths. I don't want to give that away about the robots and how they die.
Wasn't there a scene where they used the mannequins, like the
Yeah. You remember it a lot, man.
Yeah.
They go
towards the end. They had like a lineup of like just mannequins, and they fooled the robots. The robots thought that they were people, and they were shooting at them, and it was like a trap.
That's right. And
I was like, these robots aren't very smart. They're just like, oh, okay, all right, what? Like I thought maybe they were like sensing heat or something, but they see something that looks human, they just shoot it. Well, who are you?
I thought the same thing. Yeah.
So you could fool these robots. Wait, hold on here. Back up. That means these robots, this whole time when they're going through the mall, anytime they pass by a mannequin, they weren't triggered to shoot it immediately. They were just like, they didn't care. But then in that moment in the movie, when there's mannequins everywhere, and they're like, come get us, robots, or whatever they call them. Now they're blasting away at anything that looks like them. Okay. Maybe the robots were pissed. Maybe the robots were really angry that they weren't able to eliminate this threat of hoodlums having sex in the mall. Jesus.
Right. I didn't want to give away this cool scene, but I'll go ahead and say it just because we're there.
Yeah.
There's some mirrors behind them with the mannequins, and of course the robot's shooting lasers to kill all the mannequins and trying to shoot them, and hits the mirror, and the mirror reflects that. Or, the laser beam bounces off the mirror and hits the robot. So the robot is now being electrocuted, or he's being electrocuted by his own laser blade or razor.
Razor blade. I like razor blade. Razor blade would be better.
Laser.
Because that's kind of what you think this movie is about. When you see the cover, you think it's called Chopping Mall. There's no chopping in this at all. It should be called Laser Ball or Terminator Mall.
It's crazy, man. I looked at the Wikipedia earlier just to remember the cast's name, and it was originally called something else, but I cannot remember what it was called. But it was more closer in line with the plot of the movie, and then they changed it to Chopping Mall because it wasn't doing so well, and so they thought it was a title. So when they turned it to Chopping Mall, they started to do better as far as the theater goes.
Oh, they were doing better. They did a little bit better after changing the name.
Yeah. So I don't remember what the original name was, but it must have been a shitty one.
right. I'm curious about that.
Let me see what.
Okay.
Killbots. Killbots is a good one.
Killbots.
I don't see what the problem is with Killbots.
Killbots sounds cool.
Yeah, that's more in line than Chopping Mall, but. And
that would work in the 80s. I mean, RoboCop was a thing. Shit. Okay. But people who went to go see Chopping Mall, I mean, I assume they're expecting some sort of slashers going on here, an axe, maybe a razor blade, but you don't get any of that. Yeah. You get lasers.
No, you don't.
And you get propane explosions. The explosions are pretty cool. I mean, that's not bad.
I do agree, man. I agree. The ending is very cool. Like you said, you have Sarah Connor, and so she's trying to get away from this robot because the robot, you think, kills her boyfriend, the other nerdy guy, right?
Right.
He's not really dead though. Just like the robot at the beginning of the movie, the robot thinks he's dead, but he's not. So she's running away from this robot, goes into a paint store and decides to throw paint all over the floor as well as paint thinner. And so she's creating a bomb, and she's got a flare that she has stuck down into her shirt. And so she pulls it out at the end of the movie. The robot chases her in. She runs out and she says, something along the lines of, I've got you now, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Ignites the road flare, throws it in there, and of course he blows up.
Yeah, she
and
had
then her boyfriend comes back.
Line. There were some cool one-liners in this movie, which why I think maybe they're trying to go for like some sort of 80s action film, like Terminator or something like that. Terminator 1. When was Terminator 1? The original Terminator. 1984. So even before Chopping Mall.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, man, I think they totally were. They were totally going for that. Huh. So okay.
I gotta agree, man.
Now remind me here. In the end of this movie, is there anything about like the mall, or I guess the rich motherfucker who pitched these robots? Is he getting reprimanded?
No, and that's the thing. There's even a scene in that film where two of the friends, and one of the couples, it's a guy and it's a woman, and they die. And I didn't discuss their deaths, but what happens is that she is calculating how many times they will have to do tune-up jobs because they have like a little car repair business, I guess.
Yeah.
And she averages about 2.9 million is what she'll have to do before she has the money to pay them all off for the destruction they're causing because these killer robots are trying to kill them. So that was their mindset back in the 80s.
Right. Because they knew they were probably going to get sued for this. But it's the mall's robots were blowing up the mall. So, but... So our Sarah Connor, she survived.
They're concerned with the damage.
Yeah, she survived the movie, but she was going to get sued. But the follow-up to this movie is, okay, you won. Now guess what? Now you're going to jail. That'd be horrible. Yeah. That'd be horrible. Oh, shit, man.
Oh, yeah. But, I thought it was a fun movie. I really think that if, you don't want anything to think about. You just want to relax, forget about life. For about an hour and 15 minutes, that's your movie.
It's, I agree with that. It's a fun movie. It's not serious. There's nothing serious about it. The cover gives away that it's not serious. It's called Chopping Mall, and
that's right.
It's just meant to be fun. I mean, if I were to rate this movie out of 10 stars, though, I'd probably say about like a 5 or 6. But
right,
it's a fun movie. It's not. It is kind of like it's so bad it's good. There are some entertaining elements to this movie. Okay, like the dialogue between I don't know if they're like high schoolers or college. I think they might be college age. I'm not exactly sure. I hope so because there's a sex scene there. But
I'm sure they're college age.
Yeah,
they definitely look like they're in their 30s or late 20s for sure.
Mm-hmm. The dialogue between them is kind of interesting. The sex scenes, it's funny. There's funny parts in this movie. I mean, the janitor death was funny. Oh yeah. The technician's death is kind of funny.
The head explosion.
Especially when the other technician comes in and there's no body. Like, so one technician died, the other technician comes into the room, and there's no body around. So did the robots dispose of the bodies too?
I didn't even mention that. There were 2 technicians that were killed and a janitor before the friends started dying. Yeah.
Man, fucking robots, dude. They need to send those things to deploy them. The military needs to be using those things.
I know, man. It's crazy. It's a funny movie, though. It's a good time. Mm-hmm. I would like you give it 5 or 6. It's not like the Beast Must Die, where there's a really clever plot. There's nothing clever about this plot. And this is pretty much, you can pretty much guess exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right from the beginning, you know who's going to die first, and everything else.
It writes itself. Yeah. Yeah, it gives it away. Like those movies usually do, especially in those scenes. Like, who's not having sex? Okay, I'm
right. Exactly. They're gonna live. Right.
Yeah, you already know. And I wonder if that was a thing even back then, where because before this movie, there's plenty of slashers and other horror films that kind of had that trope. So even then, I wonder if people were like, "Yeah, I bet they're gonna survive. I bet they're gonna survive." You know?
There had to have been, man. Because you know the ones that are going to die are the ones who have sex and the ones who do drugs, right?
Yeah, and the more promiscuous one always dies first. The lady, the chick with the blue undies.
That's right. That's right.
She was on the bed. Her breasts were all out. She was like, "Can you go buy me smokes?" She died. Yes. Horrible. But yeah, overall good film. I would recommend it. Definitely check it out. And hey, if there's another horror movie you want us to review or talk about, feel free to leave a name in the comments section. You guys, ladies, take it easy. And thank you, Mr. Beowulf, for reminding me of this movie. And apparently I haven't forgotten much about it at all. It sticks
man,
with
you seem to have, you remember some parts that I couldn't remember, and I saw it today, man. So.
Last time I saw this movie was, I think, it was around when the lockdown started. It was around that time. So, a while. It's been a while. But,
that's cool, man. Good memory.
So what I'm saying is, it sticks with you. What you see in this movie, you will not forget. You just will not forget it. And it's not bad. It's
definitely not the head explosion.
It's kind of cool. Oh yeah, the head explosion is great. Classic. Well, that said, you guys take it easy.
All right.